What's up, guys? Matt with Richardson Performance. Welcome to my channel. This is episode 3 of the Richardson Performance podcast. Kind of got a free-for-all going on today, so I just been kind of thinking about this is going to be a 1 week down, dropping YouTube videos. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I've been trying to think of a schedule. I like to have some structure to some degree, and then to kind of work within that structure. I always say, the tiger's got to have a big cage. You got to definitely have some structure, but you need to be able to roam around a little bit and have some freedom. So, Mondays, we're going to keep it with something, mindset, health-oriented, bettering yourself. And then Wednesday, I think we'll do something that's more training specific. This week on Wednesday, we did a full segment on increasing your athleticism, particularly your vertical jump, and breaking down the different aspects and ingredients and balancing the things that need to go into that to optimize your athleticism and health. What an intricate thing that is. And then Friday, I kind of threw this one out to you guys, and that was pretty fun. I think we'll keep maybe doing that in the future, where you guys can choose. I got a couple, topics, throw them out there to you guys in whatever flavor we're feeling. So here we go. Episode 3, what you guys chose, we threw this up on IG, is how to be selfless. So everything that we do on here, everything that I do on here, is off the cuff. I'm going to be honest. Whenever I've had a speaking engagement, I kind of like to go and make a few bullet points, to be honest. But this is just stuff that's off the cuff. So we're going to see where it takes us. Speaking of that, when I was still in college, to make my mama happy, she was so worried. She knew I was going to be a businessman. Man, it's in my blood. But as I was doing this, she was like, you need to go to school, of course. So I was, and it kept me sharp. It was good. I met some of my very best friends while I was in school. But I had an interest in psychology, so when I was getting my generals done, my plan was to go to law school. It's something that had blended in well with the business that my family had been building. It's also been kind of cool. My family just started to really build their business right as I was getting out of high school and building mine. So that's been really, really fun to do together, and we've learned a lot. But that being said, when I was in college, I really I've always taken an enjoyment in the mind. So I like psychology. And as I built my body, I just kind of understood that relationship between building your exterior is what really cultivates and kind of plants the seed or tills the ground for you to build your best mental self. So, that's the thing. If you want to be an intellectual, you kind of have to be, or at least the best intellectual that you can be, you have to be a meathead to some degree. You need to know what it's like to put your energy into something and watch your ideal self and watch yourself come to fruition, watch yourself get stronger, be able to do things that you couldn't before. That's very important. So when I was into psychology, I just listened to different psychologists and people that do that for a living, in the clinical practice. The good ones, what I found, have kind of come to agree, particularly, I want to say, I'm going to say this right. I hope it's Carl Jung, I believe. It could be Jung, so excuse me if I mess that up. And I've only heard about him from Jordan Peterson. So Jung has pretty well laid the foundation for a lot of what is pretty much set in fact for psychology in today's age. And then Jordan Peterson is one of the greatest minds of our time and has kind of expanded on that. But one thing I like that I've heard from Jordan Peterson is that people think not by thinking, but by talking. And whether that's talking to somebody else, and that just shows the value in listening to somebody. If you listen, you're really helping them think, and that really doesn't mean interjecting your own input when it's asked for, or at the right time. I would honestly say that time is you should listen probably 80% of the time, and then maybe give an input, maybe 20% of the time. And I mean, I'm not just randomizing those numbers, but what this has come from is I was listening to him talk about one of his clients that he has that was just absolutely having a terrible time with life. He couldn't get along with anybody. I mean, just job to job, hated everything, couldn't get along with his family. I mean, his life was a wreck. He was. I mean, it sounded like he was a classic narcissist and just honestly a nightmare to be around. And what he said is that he would notice in his sessions that he would just listen. So they have an hour session. He would listen for 50 minutes. 50. Could you imagine? It's hard for us, most of us, to listen to someone for 5. He's listened to this man talk about how awful his life is, complain about his coworkers, complain about how he thinks of himself, feels about himself, every single thing you could imagine of for 50 minutes. And then he would interject, not interject, but, at that time, I think the guy was about out of gas, and he would, give his opinion maybe, or, hey, here's a few things that maybe we could do to make that a little better. And over the course of 3 years, he basically noticed that each one of their sessions, as he would listen for 50 minutes, they would kind of more talk, then talk back and forth for the last 10, that their sessions became progressively less negative. And then it became progressively less of a venting session and more of an interaction between the two of them. And then pretty soon, the guy is teaching other people to play instruments and involved in clubs and prospering and moving up the ranks in his job. And really, I think the moral of that story is that there's a lot of value just sitting there and listening to another human being. And if you want someone to change in your life or yourself, I think that, I'm always that person that likes to go and be alone with my thoughts and rationalize, think things through, balance my, my logic versus what I kind of feel in my gut or my intuition, and make sure those two things are aligned, that sort of thing. I'm very in tune with myself, or centered. I would say I put in a lot of work to try to be that way. But at the end of the day, we're all human in the sense that it really helps if you just talk to another person. As vulnerable as that might be for a lot of us, I think we all need to have someone like that, or maybe a panel of people that are in our winner circle. If you would, one of my best friends likes to refer to that, people that he can trust, people that are doing positive things in his life, his friends, he likes to call it his winner circle. And I like that. We think by talking. We do. We think by talking to another human being. And this for me is selfishly a way that I can think about things too, and build my mind because I'm talking to you guys. So that being said, let's get into it. How to be selfless. So selfless is basically putting yourself last in a lot of ways. But in my mind, we're going to keep this short and to the point. And we are going to make sure that this is applicable. I hope that what you guys are looking for today, I want you to listen to this with an open mind. And I want you just to think about this. And when you have things come to mind as I'm speaking here that are going to hit home with you, and you're like, damn, I do that, or I'm not doing that, or I could do this, or yes, this is me, make sure that you apply it to yourself individually of, okay, what can I do to then take what I heard today and make myself better? That's all I'll ask of you. So otherwise, you just wasted your time listening to me if you're not going to apply. I said that's someone close to me today. We were talking about some things that we could do, just overall life betterment and whatnot. And they said, I've realized this, and I'm just aware of this, and yada yada. I'm like, yeah, but just because you're aware does not mean that you're actionizing it. And I think that's the biggest thing is some people don't know, and it's bad to be clueless. And there's a lot of people that are. There really is. But, for whatever reason, you're not putting in the work, you're not being introspective, just kind of floating through life. But there are some people that are aware, but that are not doing. And there are a very select few, and those are the people that you're seeing rising to the top in whatever, in their family, in whatever business niche that they're in their career, just overall in life, that are happy and seem to be prospering. Those people in your social circle or in your community. They are aware and they actionize it. They're absolutely not perfect. We all mess up. I had a conversation with my barber today about being lazy. Sometimes they're just kind of falling into the lull once you've kind of became busy and successful. And yeah, absolutely. I told him, I said, yeah, I would. I don't think anyone else would necessarily call it lazy, but my standard of myself, I would. I would say I fell into that more times than I would like to admit. And it's more about doing the things that I've already been doing to be where I'm at, but not doing the things I need to be doing to get where I need to go. That being said, selflessness, this goes out to all the people that are single, men and women, and you are looking to build yourself, build your life, find a life partner, find what you like to do. This is also going out to the people that are in a committed relationship or in a partnership where you're exchanging your energy and you're building a life with somebody else, and trying to be coherent together. This also goes out to those of you that are in a partnership with kids. That adds another dynamic that you have to give out your energy. So this goes out to everyone who's a human being. You will find value from this. And I hope you do. If you listen, I'm sure you will. So you have to be valuable to be selfless, in my opinion. Because selfless is giving yourself or a part of yourself to somebody else. And that part of yourself could be, it could be your presence. It could be your knowledge. It could be the example that you set with how you eat, with how you take care of your body, with how you speak, walk, talk. And this goes for everyone that you're around, your friends, especially people that are parents, your kids, for crying out loud. There's something, I forget, there's an actual name for it. And because everyone knows I'm big into movement and understanding movement in sports. And so gait's a big word among my athletes. And how you walk, your kids will walk. How you talk, your kids will talk. And I'm not so worried about, saying cuss words and things like that. But if you're a negative complainer and you're down on yourself, you hate your job and you just bitch about it and drink beer all the time, or whatever that might be, right? If you're negative and complaining, I mean, your kids are going to pick up on that. You are culturing these kids to think just like you. Remember, we're just like computer systems, and what gets put into this gets programmed. So you got to be valuable if you want to be selfless, in my opinion. If you want to, otherwise, no one's really trying to get anything from you. And it's not really get anything from you. We want to be able to give to people. And I think that's what selfless is about, is giving. Selfless is spending. It's giving to others. And to give, you have to build, right? So we have to build, we have to save, okay? We have to invest in ourselves. We're going to have to build up a savings account, essentially, in ourselves, from investing in ourselves in a multifaceted way throughout our life, to then be able to be selfless and give to others. We have to create something of ourselves to be able to give to others. We have to invest in ourselves, pillar 1, physically, pillar 2, mentally, and pillar 3, spiritually. Financial helps too. I know I would love to be, when I'm a father or a grandfather someday, I don't want my kids to be trust fund kids. I absolutely don't. I want them to not have to struggle through the things that I've had to struggle through, but to understand those struggles and to grow from them like I have. That's going to be an intricate balance, and that's probably I wouldn't want to say my biggest fear in life, but I think definitely going to be my biggest challenge someday. I don't find it hard to develop myself. I don't find it hard to develop others around me and make people better around me. I don't find it hard to build my business or make money. But I do think that'll be an intricate balance there of how do you show those after you and let them understand your struggles, but provide for them, and so they don't have to struggle and make their life more expedient than yours was, but still being able to grow here. It's difficult. So you have to build your health. You have to build your wealth so that you can share that with others. So what I'm really trying to say is, and this is going to be a hard one, especially for you moms out there, a little bit easier for you single people, And in a relationship, we have to understand something too. But to be selfless, to become selfless, you have to be selfish. And selfishness has such a negative connotation. But really what selfish is putting yourself first. And we have to do that, or else you are not at your best self and you can't provide for others. And I really hope that this is going to resonate with you. If you are single right now as a man, you are not going to have anything to offer, number one, a woman, someone else, a partner, if you do not build yourself. How are you going to lead somebody and be the protector in your family, be a financial provider? I get gender roles are different. I personally I like, if the man is the provider. I think that's a good thing. I love girls in business. But as a man, you should strive to be your best, of course. You know what I mean? How are you going to give to somebody else and provide value if you don't lead yourself and you're not building yourself, building your own physical strength, your own knowledge and fortitude, your own spirituality, right? Your wealth. How are you going to give to someone else and be selfless and lead and teach and coach if you do not do that to yourself? It doesn't work that way. You have to be selfish first. It's the order of events. It's nature's way as far as I'm concerned. You are going against the grain if you don't do it this way. And I know it's so hard because everyone's like, oh, well, God, I have to put my boyfriend or girlfriend first, or I have kids. I'm not telling you to put them on the back burner. But in each 24 hours, you have to find time for yourself. We all need maintenance. Peace of mind is something that takes work every day. Peace of mind is not something that is just there. It's something that has to be developed and invested in. You have to put money in the bank. That's what I'm talking about. So basically, being selfish is going to give you peace of mind. It's going to give you all these attributes, a better mindset, a better skill set for you then to project to the people that matter most to you. Being selfish is working for you. Understand that. Being selfish is working for you, and you have to work for you first before you can work for others. And the key is, if you are not working for you and developing into your best self and your highest potential, then yes, when you are selfless and putting things out there for others, you're not putting your best self out there. And especially when you have children, you want to make sure you're doing that, because those times from 0 to 13, so impressionable. I know that from athletics. If I get someone who's done a girl who's done dance or gymnastics, you could tell, man. If they did that for 3 to 5 years before the age of 13, they could drop into the damn splits anytime they want. So flexible, just smooth on their feet. You can tell. So that's a little tidbit there for you. Make sure your kids dance and do gymnastics. They don't need to be good at it, but they should be about a C. If you're like a C plus in gymnastics when you're younger, I also think you should grapple. Have all your kids, girls and boys, should grapple. You should get into the wrestling. If you do those things, they will translate to life and sport, every other life or every other sport, and your general life very well. Trust me. Of course, boxing as well. That can go along with grappling. So it's just backwards of what we think. And I know it's hard to wrap our minds around that. But if you don't put yourself first, I want you to think about this. How do you feel, those of you that are on a good gym routine, right? You're going 4 to 5 days a week. Think of how you feel when you feel like you're making progress, your mindset. Notice how you're walking, how you're thinking, right? How you're talking, your tolerance around your family, right? We don't get annoyed as easily. More productive, we're motivated, we're getting dinner done right on time. The house is clean, right? When you fall off of routine, what happens to your mindset? How do you feel? Life feels a lot more chaotic, doesn't it? A lot more stressed out. The house is dirty, needs picking up. The car's got French fries in the back seat. You got a bunch of shit scattered in the front seat, right? My life gets like that too. That's why, because it's a constant balance. And I know there's times when it's a busy time, right? For me, it's always when work takes over too much. Too many hours, too many client hours. And it's great. It's a positive thing. That's the thing. Being selfless is so positive, but the problem is we have to have a balance between being selfless and being selfish. Okay. And I want to take away the negative connotation with being selfish, because there is absolutely a way to be selfish and have it be negative, right? But there's the key to life is to find the way to be selfish productively. Again, we have to invest in ourselves, build that up so that we have something to give to others. I'd like to be able to teach all my kids and grandkids to box. I want to put them in grappling when they're young like I was. I want them to dance so they're more flexible, not as stiff like I was coming out of high school. Couldn't even hardly get my hands past my knees when I tried to touch my toes. It's ridiculous. When my kids want to have something they're passionate about and they have a business that they want to open up, I want to have built up the financial freedom to be able to back them and make it happen. And all of that, being able to provide that, train them to get stronger, build their bodies, have a good self-image, be confident. For men, I really feel like it's definitely self-confidence. And for women, it's self-worth. I know those two are a little bit interchangeable, but that's why you need to strength train and build your body. As human beings, we get fulfillment out of seeing progress for our results. Seeing progress and yield from our efforts. In our relationships, financially, physically, spending time being mindful helps us with our spirituality. Pardon me. Life is always about balance. And so I hope that we look at the word selfish a little bit differently today. Selfish is going to the gym and building your body so that you're confident and you teach others that are around you, your husband or wife, your kids, your friends. Your whole circle elevates because you are a certain way, right? We're not leading, we're not pushing. We're not telling others what to do. We're not wanting others to be better. We're showing. We're living ourselves. That's the difference, right? We lead, we don't push. And we each have to do that as individuals. It goes into our tribe or our family, our social circle, our community, our state, our nation. That's how you change the world. So it is important, one person at a time. But that person has to be you. And it has to be me for me. We have to put ourselves first if we want to have something to offer to others that's going to make them better. Hope that helps, guys. One thing I'd like to put out there real quick. Pardon me. Shout out to Canadips. They sent me some new drops and flavors. They're such a cool company, man. These guys have the perfect balance between just screwing around, having fun with the boys, and getting stuff done and promoting hard work and getting out and enjoying life in a productive manner, whether that's outside golfing, hiking. They are all about two campaigns. I'm a part of an athlete campaign they call Lip Boomer Athlete, which is essentially throw in your CBD supplement, no nicotine, no THC, anything like that. All natural American, California grown hemp, and go out and do something, right? Get outside, lift weights, box, golf, hike, hunt, fish, whatever it is. Go for a bike ride, throw in a can of dips, different flavors. And then also for those of you trying to get off the dip, these are a great way to start throwing these in and weaning yourself off of that in a healthy way. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in here tonight. I hope that we found some value in this episode this evening. it was also shout out to one of my good friends for the custom sup jar. Pretty sick with the gold. And we just have to understand that there's a balance to be had. We have to be selfish first. And selfish is not a negative thing if we understand how to be selfish, okay? Selfish is definitely negative when you don't spend time with people that matter and you don't spend time with yourself and developing yourself. That's what selfishness is. And then your kids, their potential is suffering, right? Your friends, your friend group is going down, right? So you hear that all the time, like, if you want to see what you are, look at your circle. Well, if you want, in my opinion, if you want to see what you are, look at yourself, right? Why are we judging everyone else before we look at ourselves? What you are is going to bleed into your circle, right? And energy frequencies, they match up, man. Don't think it's any coincidence that you meet people when people fall into your life. There's no coincidence there. You attract things, right? Stop worrying about how to make $1 million. Stop worrying about how to find that perfect person and worry about who you got to be to attract that, right? And then it's at ease, right? I don't know if any of you have ever really golfed before and you try to hit the golf ball. Try hard to hit the golf ball and see how it works. It doesn't. Anything in life, right? Try to throw a punch and really try to muscle it. Things have to have flow, right? We do have to have some direction and some mental effort in everything we do and some intention. But things have to have flow. Thank you guys for joining in. I've enjoyed doing this week. I'm looking forward to the future. I appreciate you guys sticking with me here. I know this is going to be small to start. It will be. I've built some social media in the past. I get it. I definitely have just dabbled in the pond, in my opinion, the puddles as far as Instagram and TikTok goes. YouTube, in my opinion, is where it's at. So we can sit down and have real conversations like this, real depth. You can go about your day. You can cook, you can clean, you can drive, you can clean the toilets. You can take a and you could put this in your earphones and we can add some value. So I appreciate you guys for joining in. We're going to be at this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're going to push it, and I'm looking forward to growing together. I know it will. It always does. We're just going to have, we're passionate about what we do here. We're passionate about getting better in every aspect and every pillar of our lives. That's what this crown stands for. The 3 pillars of your self-development, and that's where your foundation is. And again, yourself. So we have to be selfish productively. We know how to be selfish in the negative connotation, which that's just kind of what is the societal norm for most people. But anyone listening and watching this, I know we don't want to be average. And so we know how to be productively selfish so that we can then build up worth in ourselves, knowledge, physical, just in the way that we do things, walk, talk, every little thing of life, dress, financially, and be able to offer that into other people, those closest to us and those that matter most. And then that return comes right back to us. If you elevate others, you elevate yourselves. Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 3 of the Richardson Performance Podcast. Matt with RPT, out.